the High Republic has been announced as the next big thing for Star Wars. It's a publishing campaign as of now, and we got a little bit of information, so I just want to talk about that with you guys. My name is Cody Dastrup. This is Star Wars Doctrine. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for more Star Wars content. Really excited about this, the High Republic era. For a long time, it's been Project Luminous, and we've been curious as to what exactly that's going to entail. And right now, it looks like it's just a publishing campaign. Now, they have said that this is the first wave, so it is open to possibly having more things in the future. I've heard rumors of games, TV shows, movies, things like that. And I also think that it's going to be based on how well this era is received. Now, it very well might only be books and comics and things of that sort, but I do think, if it's received well by the fans, people enjoy it, the characters, the story, that something more could always come of it. It does feel like Lucasfilm has played a lot of it by ear, just based on, change things up as the fans receive certain things better than others. And we've seen that with their angle with Disney Plus right now. They've the Obi-Wan was supposedly going to be a movie first, but now they decided to switch it over to the TV show because they think fans will receive that better. So I do think that it's kind of up in the air right now, but this is a good way to start it off and to give a time period that really hasn't been touched by anybody, even in Legends. And I think that's one thing Disney, Lucasfilm wants, is they don't want to have to compete. I think that was one of the problems with 7, 8, and 9, is that there was already stories that we all loved that kind of got retconned by, I wouldn't say retconned because they were just Legends, and George Lucas wasn't always involved in those. But that being said, there was a lot of stories that people loved that weren't really the same when 7, 8, 9 came out. Now that won't be an issue because there's never been a whole lot of stories and characters that we love from this era. Obviously, we get the opportunity to have characters like Yoda still be involved, but ultimately it's a fresh slate, and I think that's what these authors and Lucasfilms is really excited about. So let me kind of dive in, just break down everything we know so far. Guys, I'm really excited about this, especially because some of the authors and people involved are just incredible, and I've loved the books and the things. It's been some of the best stuff that's come from Disney is the novels and the comics. So let me go ahead and dive in here with this. This comes from StarWars.com. Later this year, Lucasfilm will launch an epic new era of Star Wars storytelling that will be explored through multiple voices in adult and young adult novels, children's books, and comics from a variety of publishers, including Disney Lucasfilms, Del Rey, IDW Publishing, and Marvel. So the Star Wars The High Republic, which was previously referred to as Project Luminous, like I said, it's going to be set in an era where the Galactic Republic and the Jedi Order are at their zenith, about 200 years before the events of Star Wars Phantom Menace. So 200 years before. Originally, it was reported by Making Star Wars it was going to be about 400 years before. But it's only 200, which really gives me, like I said, the possibility that Yaddle or Yoda, some of these Jedi who are older, maybe like Yarrow Poof, I don't know how old he was, but some of these guys who are older Jedis and species that could live a long time, very well could still be around. And we might get to, I don't think they'll be the main characters of any of these stories, but I would like to believe that they'll pop up. Yoda still might be a member of the council, maybe not yet. I don't know how that's going to work. But the point is the Jedi, they're at their height. That's why it's the High Republic. They've been able to, they haven't really ran into the Sith for the last 1,000 years, right? They had a period of peace as far as the Sith goes, where they thought the Force was in balance and they don't have to worry about the Sith. So a lot of the other issues are going to be revolving around things other than the Sith, which I think is just an exciting thing to see. See the Jedi doing what they're supposed to be doing, being peacekeepers, right? So this period on the Star Wars timeline will not overlap any of the film features or series currently planned for production, giving creators and partners a vast amount of room to tell Star Wars stories with new adventures and original characters. So that kind of tells us the movies and things that are in production right now, we don't got to worry about them overlapping, which I'm kind of bummed about, but like I said, there's still potential for the future. We are so excited to be opening up such rich, fertile era for our authors to explore, says Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy. We'll get to see the Jedi in their prime. And that's really what I'm excited for, just to see the Jedi in their prime time before they get involved in the Clone Wars and everything like that. Star Wars: The High Republic features the Jedi as we've always wanted to see them, as true guardians of peace and justice. This is a hopeful, optimistic time when the Jedi and the Republic are at their height. But of course, into this glorious new era, something wicked this way comes, says Lucasfilm Publishing creative director Michael Sigling. This initiative will give readers, young and old, a new corner of the galaxy to explore through rich, meaningful stories. Plus, readers will learn what scares the Jedi. Because obviously they have enemies other than the Sith. This was a golden age for the Jedi and also a time of galactic expansion in the Outer Rim. So I do think a lot of this is going to be them out exploring and bringing new systems into the Republic as it's, the Republic's growing. So expect there to be rich tales of exploration, charting out the galaxy, meeting new cultures, and discovering what pioneer life in the Outer Rim was like. This is an incredible sandbox for our storytellers to play in, both within publishing and beyond. And we can't wait to see the great fiction they build within it, says Lucasfilm Vice President, the franchise content and strategy, James Waugh. So this is just everything that I've really felt is kind of what they stated here. And just to see where this goes is exciting to me. But he once again, he does stay in there, it will go beyond just publishing possibly. So I'm excited about that. They talk about too, and if you watch the trailer, which we did post for the High Republic, they talk about how the main bad guys are going to be introduced. There's really going to be one story that kicks it off, which is Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. That's going to be the first one to come out. Charles Soule did the Vader comics and Kylo Ren comics right now, I think. So he's been just an awesome storyteller. I'm excited to see him in a novel form. But his is going to kick it off. And from what happens in his book is going to kind of spark the other stories. So they're all going to be like a ripple effect. They introduced the main bad guys as a group of people called the Nile. Now, when I first saw this, and especially watching the trailer, I assumed this is a species of people called the Nile. And I think a lot of people have assumed that as well. But with some information from our friends Alex and Molly Damon, who are Star Wars Explained, they're in the Veritas group with us. If you aren't part of that on Facebook, go ahead and check it out. It's a couple of Star Wars pages, ourselves, Star Wars Explained, Star Wars Hub, and a couple other pages who work together to run this Star Wars group. Anyways, they provided some information in a recent podcast about this because they were actually at the unveiling event in Los Angeles for the High Republic. And they said that they were told that the Nile is not a species, but more or so like a clan or a creed, kind of like the Mandalorians, where they brought in people who had the same ideals and beliefs as them. And whether they may be trying to take over parts of the galaxy, kind of like Vikings did, and trying to conquer land for themselves and for their group of people, their ideas, their beliefs, which obviously is kind of known for breeding war. And so this is going to be an interesting group of people to get to meet. Like I said, they aren't necessarily a species, which is good to know. And I actually think that makes it way more exciting, in my opinion. So let's see here. The first books and comics are set to debut at Star Wars Celebration, which is in Anaheim in August 2020. That's this year, obviously. The Light of the Jedi is going to be the massive interconnected story that's told across various formats by various publishers. So it's going to be interesting here to see. I probably will be listening to most of these via audiobook because I like that the best myself. But there's going to be comics, there's going to be books, and it's going to all be exciting, revolving around this time period. So one thing I thought that was cool too is just how interconnected all the authors have been, because I think that's one thing that was an issue in 7, 8, and 9, in my opinion, is that sometimes things didn't always seem like they had the smoothest transition because you had different people, who were making different stories. And obviously it's going to be similar in this regard, but they talked about how this group of authors actually went to Skywalker Ranch, were able to watch some of the Star Wars movies together, have a big old meeting together, multiple meetings where they discuss what stories they wanted to tell. And apparently, according to StarWars.com, they actually have a group chat together where they actually just talk to each other about characters and story ideas and plot lines. And so it seems like they're all going to be very connected. So hopefully it will feel that way. Although the stories aren't going to be like, this is number one, this is number two. It's a trilogy of stories, but they're all going to be connected in the way that it's almost like the Marvel expanded universe, where you have all these movies that they maybe don't necessarily, it's not all Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Avengers 3, but it's Iron Man and Spider-Man, and all of them connect to each other in some way. So I'm thinking that's more what this is going to be. But they really wanted to know, I guess that one thing StarWars.com says that Kevin Scott really kicked off the whole project into high gear by asking the question, what scares the Jedi? Like, at this time period, if it's not the Sith, what is it? And so that's really what this is all going to be about. And I thought that was really cool. I'm really excited here to kind of get into this. It looks like there's some cool characters. Charles Soule's already talked on Twitter about the Wookiee Jedi and the main characters from his book. There's this cool little space station in the background, it looks like, and on his cover. I'm just really excited to see where this goes. I hope you guys are too. We'll be obviously doing lots more discussions on this as time goes and as we learn more, and obviously we'll be doing the breakdowns of the books like we do. Lots of good stuff coming for Star Wars fans in general in 2020 between this, The Mandalorian, Clone Wars right now. Couldn't be more excited. Hope you guys are too. Look forward to the conversations that we will have. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for future Star Wars content. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook. That's where the discussions happen. We love talking with you guys, so go ahead and shoot me a message, and obviously I'll reply and we can talk Star Wars. Thank you guys so much for your support, and as always, may the Force be with you.